Hello everybody and welcome to a new video. Today we are going to be going through episode 4 of my tutorial series. Today we are going to focus on armor, weapons, and enemies. So without any further ado, let's dive in. So first, since it's first on the database, I'm going to start with weapons. So when you load up a new game, you'll start with all these example weapons. I suggest you take a look at them, then you delete all of them. Now, mind you, it could be useful, especially if you're a beginner and this is your first time in the system, to leave them and to use the information contained within. However, I have been using this system for a very long time, so I do not need those to reference back to. Now, first things first, always include a description. I don't care if it's simply, it's a sword. Include something, because if you leave this blank, it'll look really wonky. Alright, so we have a basic sword, our weapon type here. This refers to, actually, let me open the folder for this. It refers to this, that is not what I wanted. System, where's the system? There it is. It refers to this. So we have dagger, sword, flail, axe, whip, staff, bow, crossbow, gun, etc. And that is what these refer to. It is the type of weapon that it uses. And then this is the animation that plays when they use it. So this is a sword, so we just want to / physical. And then parameters, this is what it does. So I want the sword to have an attack of 5. It's a basic sword, so it doesn't need any of this, but I will go through and explain what everything is. It's a physical one. This is if you wanted to make it elemental. I don't, so I'm just keeping the basic. Comes with attack element, physical. Debuff, this is something that it'll bring down instead of raise up. And again, I'm going to say this again. If you hover over things, it will explain what it is. So if you have it set, want it to debuff the max HP, 100% of the time it'll do it, 50% of the time it'll do it, etc., etc. State rate, this is the rate at which it will apply a state. Wow. If you want this to be an insta-kill weapon, you would have it apply dead 100%, and it would be an insta-kill weapon. State resist, this is just something that if you had, instead of a insta-kill weapon, a weapon that made you immortal, you would apply this to this. With dead. This is more useful with armors than weapons, but I'll get into that later. Parameter, these are, I went over these before. They're the same thing as they are. And I can't remember if it was skills or items, but in there. Attack element, this is the element that it attacks with. Physical, rates are the way it attacks. Like if it's a fire weapon, it would be weak against water, less effective against water than it would be against ice. This is the element you attack with. This is, I'm not sure what this was in. Let's see. You gonna tell me? State applies as an additional effect of normal attack. Okay. So if you have an electric sword, this will give you, what's paralyzed? It'll add paralyze. This is the speed. This is if a weapon makes you faster, slower. So if you're using an ABS, pay attention to this one. This is how many times you attack. If you want to attack twice, add that here. Here, this is if you want to use a different skill other than the basic attack for this one. This can add skill types. So if you have a magic sword that allows certain characters who can't use magic to use magic, you would add that in here. This would be, if it's like a superpowered physical sword, but it doesn't allow you to use magic, you would affect that here. This is if you want the weapon to teach you a skill like it does in Legend of Legacy. Really like that game. Highly suggest playing it. It's just re-released on Steam. I played it on the 3DS. That does that. And this is if you want it to not allow you to use a certain skill. You can use that here. I can't think of any purpose for using this, but maybe you can be creative. This, I'm not 100% certain what's the purpose. Oh, so maybe you have, dual swords. This is where you would work here. In effect, I kind of went through this with, I went through this before. When did I go through this before? Because I remember going through this before. But anyways, as I said, just hover. It'll explain it. Seal equip, lock equip, slot type. So if you wanted to be a pair of dual-wield swords, you add this here. Other. This is the same thing as here. Just, instead of just attack, it'll add effects on magic and stuff. Special flag. These, I wouldn't use these on a weapon. I wouldn't worry about these here. I would, unless I thought you want to use auto battle or auto guard. Everything else I wouldn't worry about. Same with this one. I was showing it when I was working on enemies. Okay, I remember. And then a party ability. This, maybe you could use this here. I would mainly use this on armors, though, but I tend to apply special stuff to armors more than I do to weapons. Anyways, that was the most basic rundown that I could do of that. I guess I didn't go through these, but they mean attack is physical attack, physical defense, magic attack, magic defense, agility, speed, luck, how much the RNG likes you, max HP and max MP. You can use this to raise it. Alright. That is the most basic rundown of weapons. Armors, same thing here. Glance through them. See what you like, see what you don't. And then delete them. I hit the delete button. I don't know why it didn't work. There we go. Delete them. Let's say the character's going to start with a lucky ring. Lucky ring. A ring given by their, I cannot spell it. They're not so lucky dad. Alright, it is going to be general, accessory, where everything has a price, and it's going to raise the luck by a lot. Here, I'm pretty sure everything is the exact same. Yeah, everything here, the traits are the exact same as they are for weapons. So, refer to previous couple minutes of explanations. Alright, so now we are going to jump into enemies and troops. Alright, so it comes with 5 default enemies and 5 default troops. So that I'm just going to go through the goblin and its basic setup, because it's here to show you how everything works. Most of the stuff that the system comes with are there to show you how the system works so that you can move and create your own. That's why they come with the system. I'm going to start with the basic one, rewards. Upon defeat of a goblin, you earn 10 experience and 5 gold. If you want them to drop any items, weapon, armor here, then the probability. So this will be like every 10 times you defeat them, you will get 1 sword. That's how that works. You can have up to 3 items without a plugin. Here are the skills and the requirements and the rating. The rating is how often they will choose that skill over other skills. The one with the highest rating will be standard, so the basic attack you'd want to be the highest rating. Then you can have, they can only use it after so many turns, only when their HP is low, only when they have max magic, only when they're paralyzed, only if the party is above a certain level. Like if you have a boss and the party over leveled, you could have them use certain skills, or if a switch has been switched. And then they will appear right here after that. And it's just stuff set in skills, so you set player and enemies skills under skills. Notes, again, ignore it. Then I am almost 100% certain. Yeah, the traits here are the exact same as armors and weapons. So if you have any questions about those, see previous couple minutes or hover above and it'll tell you what each thing does. Here we have the hardest part of figuring out, which is balancing. Here you set the max MP, HP, attack, defense, magic attack, magic defense, agility, and luck for each of your enemies. You have to go through and play and figure out what level and HP you need to set your enemies to so that your players don't fly through and don't get killed with one hit. Balancing is a delicate art that I am not very good at, but know that, especially when you're balancing, you will always know things that your players will not know. If you have a special skill that works and you don't explain to your players how that special skill works, they will not use it, and they will get their butts kicked. So just make sure that if you have like a Pokemon-style game, that you explain how it works. I know it's annoying, and a lot of people who play the games will be like, yeah, duh. I know how a type system works. Like, obviously, water is going to be fire, and fire is going to be ice, and so on and so forth. But there's always going to be one person who doesn't, so just put it in your help file or in your tutorial and have it skippable for the people who do know what they're doing and the people who want to pretend they know what they're doing. Anyways, that's enemies. Then troops is how you organize your enemies. So this is going to be really loud, and I apologize for that. But just initialize that. And, oh yeah, no one has suggested a name for this person yet, so there's still question mark. And I didn't equip anything. Hold on, let me equip them. So what I hit here was Battle Test, which allows you to test the balancing. So if you know, for instance, that this character will be around level 5 when they reach these enemies, you would hit level 5 here, and you can test the battle to make sure it's balanced. Initialize sets it up so that the player starts with everything they would start at the beginning of the game. But that's because I haven't equipped the player with anything. Let us see, 7 fight with the basic sword, attack, Garblone. Alright, I did 54. He did 53 and 60, so I think he just got a lucky hit. I did 50. I used a special move. Now, mind you, something I'm doing here, because it's just the default, is I'm having one player versus 2 enemies, and those enemies are doing about the same amount of damage as the player is. And I don't want that, especially if I'm planning on having them group up on the player, so I probably want to reduce this down. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, now they're only doing like 19. And then I should do the same amount of damage. 19, 18. Okay, good. Now this is a lot more of a fair fight. If you are planning on having enemies group up on the player, make sure that their attack is weaker than the player's basic attack. And I'd probably want to lower their HP too, because I just have one player playing here. So let's actually go in and lower their HP down to like 100. So they should be dead in 2 hits from me, right? Let's try that again. Battle test. Okay. And right. Attack. Yeah, 2 hits. Then attack. And they're dead. Good. And then One more hit. Okay, something here. This is very important to note. They keep knocking me off balance. That is something I do not want to give enemies an opportunity to do when I only have a single actor in the party. You never want them to give a status effect that knocks the player out if there's only one player. Now, it's different in Pokemon because you technically have multiple players and you can switch between them. But never paralyze or stun when you only have one actor in the party, and cannot switch them out because the actor cannot bring themselves out of paralysis or stun. Poison. If you're going to have enemies able to poison your character, give your players an antidote. Sorry. Do not, because it's just frustrating when you get stunned move after move after move and can't do anything. And technically, it could almost soft lock you to not being able to do anything until you die. So just make sure that you're aware of that and keeping the players' enjoyment of the game above all else. Let's see. I went to weapons, armor, enemies, and troops. Oh yeah, I was going to show you. I know I showed this when I went over actors, but I'm just going to put them now. And now when I hit initialize, you see these pop up normal. And you know what I mean. And you'll also see here, let me erase this. You'll see that the stats here change with the level I'm setting to the player. So it shows you how it will grow and change as the player grows and changes. That is not what I meant to do. But anyways, that is about it. This was a shorter one. I flew through that really fast. I'm sorry if you didn't get anything. If you have any questions or are unclear on anything, please leave them down below in the comments. I would greatly appreciate it. And we are getting really, really close to being able to be a part of the YouTube Partner Program. I'll have the little screenshot pop up right now. The only issue is that while I am super close on subscribers, I am not super close on watch time. So if you could put all my videos in the background or just have them play, I would greatly appreciate it. And maybe start earning some money from this channel. And I hope you, with that said, I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!